Men need to stop acting like you're the evil, you're in the wrong when they're hiding from you. It is so diabolic to me what we're about to find out in this recap of Love is Blind. Hi, my name's Karen, and you are back with Chisme Corner, where we're going to be covering the last 3 episodes of Love is Blind, 5 through 7.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
And we're just gonna be going at it. And I'm telling you right now, my pettiness is gonna come out. I am upset, I am angry, and I am very mad at the man in this in these episodes. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So let's get to it.
So she got in a plane and left.
Correct.
And there's been no contact with her since.
So right off the bat, we get Uche talking about how he feels blindsided because, Aaliyah left without letting him know, without giving him an explanation. And I do understand that, yes, he should have been giving an explanation. So the producers are able to get in touch with Aaliyah, and they ask her if she wants to communicate with Uche so she can clear things up. And as he's talking to her, they're going over everything, and she's telling him that the reason why she left is because she had interaction with Lydia, and technically Lydia was just like, I guess it was a joke to Aaliyah that she was telling him that if it doesn't work out with her, then she can keep Uche. And Aaliyah said, I don't want him, fuck you. So, that must have pissed off Aaliyah very badly, so she decided to leave the experiment. And Uche feels like he needed an explanation given to him. And he was also saying, like, there hasn't been any concerns. She never showed any type of concerns in regards to her leaving. But I mean, how are you expecting someone to react after you tell them that your ex is in this experiment? And also, the producers of Love is Blind confirmed that they were the ones that asked Lydia and Uche to not disclose the information until they give them the green light. So I get it, but it's still very evil, the fact that Lydia made a connection with Aaliyah. Like, that's evil shit. And that's all we get from that. Uche doesn't want to see Aaliyah. Aaliyah tells him, I love you. Can we try to work this out? But Uche feels like, no, you don't love me because you took off. So what's the deal with you? After this, then we're going to get Milton and Lydia finally meeting each other. And oh my God. I love Lydia's dress, by the way. I thought it was pretty cute and it complimented her in all the right places. And at first, when they were walking to each other, both of them were super serious. And I was like, oh no, they're probably not into each other. But once they got to each other, they couldn't get their hands off one another. They were kissing the whole time, making out. It was out of control. And then when Milton's trying to pull the ring out, he actually has a rock in his suit. So I thought it was pretty funny. And then after that, he makes fun of her and is like, you're gonna need flashcards because your English sometimes she mixes words or doesn't pronounce them correctly. And I'm over here thinking this girl, what she needs is how to not be. Now the couples are off to Mexico and they're gonna go on the trip and finally get that physical connection that we're all waiting for. And I mean, Milton and Lydia are all on top of each other. Stacy and Issy are all on top of each other too. They're just loving. They can't wait to bone each other. Everything's going great. But between JP and Taylor, there's just an awkwardness there that you can even cut it with a knife. That's how awkward it is. That's how horrible it is. So she brings it up to him and she tells him, like, why are you acting like this with me? I don't understand what is going on. And he doesn't really say anything. Like, anytime that she brings up something, all he says is,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
he just, I honestly just want to joke him because he's driving me insane as the fact that he can't just be honest with her and tell her exactly what's going on. Are you not attracted to her? Is that what the problem is? But he won't say it. He won't say it, right? He just wants to keep it to himself.
So say it.
And then she asked him, do you see yourself sleeping, like, waking up to my face for the rest of your life? And he says, I don't. Starts laughing. Like, what type of answer is that? And we still don't really get like a true connection between them. After this, we're off to the couples meeting each other for the first time. And this entire time that they were meeting each other, you can tell that, like, Stacy and Izzy are into each other, Lydia and Milton are into each other, but specifically Taylor and JP, like, are just not there. And this part made me extremely sad when Taylor was standing by herself and she was just looking at the other couples being so lovey-dovey, so happy with each other. And she's just like, I wish I had that connection. And that just made me very emotional to see her, like, so sad and disappointed from her connections. Since the couples are meeting each other, we also get Izzy wanting to clear their air up with Lydia. I don't understand why he needs to do this every single time, and you guys will see later, but he's like, oh, let's clear the air. And they do. They put everything aside. There's no more problems with them, but I definitely found this unnecessary. I guess in my eyes, there's no need for you to try to clear the air with someone that you didn't even pursue anything with. I also want to point out the fact that Izzy is drunk when he's having this conversation with Lydia, and he's gonna be drunk later on when he has a conversation with another cast member. Also, when Milton and JP are having a conversation with each other, he tells Milton that he still hasn't had any sex with Taylor, and I mean, we all know why this is not happening. And I was just like, man, that is incredibly sad because there's like zero connection between them. And at this time, Taylor and Stacy are also having a conversation where she expresses to her that she doesn't feel comfortable with JP anymore. And honestly, at this point, when she said that, it really, really hit me that this wasn't gonna go anywhere and their relationship was probably gonna be over. We are off to episode 6, going home, and here the couples, I mean, Lydia and Milton are just very into each other. The only thing that I do have to say about this is that Lydia acts like Milton's mom, and that's just very awkward. They had this little, like, it wasn't like an argument, but it was more of a discussion as to what Milton was going to wear, and he wanted to wear something in specific, and Lydia was like, no, you can't wear that because it doesn't match me, and he's like, well, I'm not 10 years old anymore, so I can wear whatever I want, and I was just like, okay, unnecessary, whatever. And then we jump off to Izzy and Stacy, and they're just having fun, boning each other, doing what they usually do because that's technically all they do. They almost never have any deep, meaningful conversations, but that's exactly what happens. And now we are off to Taylor and JP that are going to go on a date. And here, Taylor brings up again the fact that, the relationship is very awkward. And he continues to say that there's nothing wrong, that there's nothing going on. But then we're going to take this conversation up a notch later on when they are in their rooms. And when I'm telling you guys that this part honestly took me like off the rails when it comes to JP. Like, I was so freaking upset. I already didn't like this guy that much, and we all know why, JP is giving January 6 vibes, but what can we say? It turns out that the reason why JP does not feel comfortable with Taylor is because, according to him, she was wearing a lot of makeup the day that they met each other, and that the makeup got on his sweater, and that he likes her without makeup. However, it's not what he said, it's the way he delivered it. That's the problem, because this is what he said.
Caked up face, fake eyelashes. I'm being honest, and I'm sorry that's so hard to hear. And
You didn't know what I looked like before.
You presented fake stuff.
I just dressed up and put on makeup.
A lot of makeup. I had makeup all over my jacket.
JB,
Like, why? What the heck is your problem? First of all, for all the men listening out there, we do not wear makeup for you. We don't wear lashes for you. We don't get ready for you. We do it for ourselves. And if you would have been paying attention to your partner, in this case, JP and Taylor, if you would have been paying attention to her, you would have understood that this woman has been struggling with her self-esteem, with her figure, with how she looks, with how she presents herself. And maybe, maybe, just maybe, that's one of the reasons why she wears makeup. So she can feel comfortable with herself. So if you wanted to make her feel comfortable with no makeup, maybe you should have said nice things. Maybe you should have made her feel comfortable with it, but you didn't. You delivered it in such a wrong way that you made her feel like she had to stop wearing makeup for you. And there's one thing that we're not going to do. We're not going to tell women what to do or not to do with their bodies. Clear cut. That is how it is. You don't like it, you can exit the door. That's how simple it is. That's why I'm telling you. That's why I told you guys at the beginning that I was going to be upset, because this is the first time that I'm getting upset, and later on I'm going to get upset again. And this, whatever. I don't want to get into it because I'm going to say things that I'm going to regret. Now, as they're having this conversation, it's really not going anywhere. So Taylor decides that she's actually going to leave the room and go sleep somewhere else so she can clear her mind and just talk to him tomorrow. And the day comes. They talk the next day in the morning, and Taylor tells him, I am not going to change who I am for you, and I'm not going to stop wearing makeup for you, and you're also not going to tell me what to do or not to do with my body. So she gives him the ring back. And I was so happy for her when she did that. I honestly did like a little jump when I was watching this, and I even clapped because she doesn't deserve to be with this guy. So I'm very thankful that she left him. And not only that, but like when she was dumping him and when she was telling him all the things that she felt, he had a grin in his face, like a smile. Why are you smiling? If you're so like sad about her leaving you and you were telling her to not give up on you, but you're smiling? Like, sure, dude. Sure, whatever you say. At this point, we are back home where the couples are going to meet each other's parents. And at first, I'm going to go just with Milton and Lydia. They're not that interesting, okay? But they go to Milton's apartment, and Milton has like a microscope in his apartment. And Lydia's like, can I touch it? Can I touch it? Can I touch it? And Milton's like, please don't touch it. Please don't touch it. It's very fragile. And Lydia's like, I can fix it. And Milton, he's very just like, please don't touch it. And this is another example of how Lydia is just not the best person ever, because she doesn't listen. She doesn't understand when you tell her something. She always loves to step over your boundaries. And one of the first issues that they're going to have is also the fact that Milton has to work nights and Lydia works in the afternoons. So they have conflicting schedules and they're probably not going to see each other that much. But Milton reassures her and tells her that he only does it about 4 times a week and that it's not going to be an issue later on. Now we're off to Issy and Stacy, and they're going to go to Stacy's house first. So they go to her house, and first of all, why are you guys not wearing a seatbelt? Why are you guys not wearing a seatbelt? It is very dangerous to not wear a seatbelt. You guys are probably gonna fly off the car. That's like, go off on to meet, to see the house that Stacy has. And the whole time Izzy's like, oh, this is the house that I'm gonna live in. This is the garage I'm gonna park in. This is what I'm gonna do. This is where, because let's not lie, Stacy has a lot of money. She is rolling on money. Like, she does have a lot of money. She has a 3-story home. She has worked very hard for it. Pretty much deserves what she's getting. But Izzy's not in the same place. Izzy is a sales rep for an insurance company, and he just started working there, and he hasn't even been there for a long time. And they're just, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be one of their first disagreements and one of like their biggest fights, money, because this girl likes to be spoiled. She does, and he doesn't have the means to do it. So let's hope that that doesn't end in a bad place. But then when we're off to meet, when we're off to seeing Izzy's place, red flags are popping off. He has a lost and found cabinet where he keeps all the things from all the girls that he's slept with, you know, that they leave at his apartment. And please, anyone out there, can you guys tell me if you guys have a lost and found drawer? Because I never heard of this. This is the first time. And this sends Stacy into like a whole meltdown. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home. And I'm over here like, do you know how to control your emotions? Because it sure seems like you don't. It sure seems like you don't know how to control your emotions. But also, I forgot to bring it up earlier when they were in Stacy's house. They started talking about money. And this is very important because Stacy sees money as a very, very important, you know, part of their relationship. And she's like, you know, if something were to happen to my house and I needed help, like, are you able to put in 50-50? And he's like, well, I see it as, you know, we're 50-50 relationship. If something were to happen, I will be here to support you with that weight. But then he says that, she's like, well, what about dinner? What about dinner? And he says that they should go 50-50. And this is my opinion, okay? Anyone else can have a different opinion. But when it comes to dinner, I'm still expecting, and I still expect the man to pay for the bill. Other people have different opinions, and that's totally fine, okay? We all do. But I mean, you're dealing with Stacy. Ain't no way that this woman is going to deal with the 50-50 guy. No way that she's gonna do that. So we'll see what happens later when it comes to this. And the moment we have all been waiting for. Uche and Aaliyah meeting each other. I was so excited for this part. And I was not expecting what I heard from this too. So, you know, they start talking about exactly what happened and why Aaliyah left. And she brings up the fact again that, you know, she had a conversation with Lydia and that it didn't end well, so she decided to leave. And then Uche's like, yeah, but you also blocked me on Instagram. You also sent me a voice message, and you unfollowed me and followed me and unfollowed me and blocked me. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Playing this immature games like little kids. Move on from that. Like, it's so toxic. But besides the point, she's like, you know, I still love you. Like, I'm pretty sure that I should have given you an answer. I should have talked to you about why I left, and I didn't, and I am sorry for that. Both of them apologize to each other, and they just acknowledge each other's feelings. Here's where we start getting a little bit of insight as to Lydia's and Uche's relationship. So, according to Uche, sorry. So, according to Uche, it turns out that one of the reasons why he dumped Lydia is because she violated his privacy. According to him, he doesn't say why, he doesn't say how. He just says that she invaded his privacy. And then he broke up with her, or they stopped talking because I guess they were dating. So they stopped talking to each other. And then a few months later, he decides that he's going to try again. So they start talking again. And this is when Lydia starts following a lot of the women that this man followed on Instagram. And she starts looking at their stories, seeing what they're doing, and stalking them over and over again. And then one time she drives over to Uche's house, takes a picture of the driveway, sends it to him saying, "I see you." Cycle levels, cycle bells are ringing up and down over here with Lydia. And we just like, what are you talking about? I was just like, this is too much. Like, why are we doing this? And then Aaliyah brings up the fact that, did you guys do this on purpose? Like, you guys should have been to the ultimatum if this is what you guys were trying to do, because it just is seeming too confidential. And Uche says that that was never the case, that he never planned anything with Lydia. So, that's not what happened. But then she also tells him, how don't you know that probably when Lydia came to your house last time, she was going through your emails or through your correspondence and found something related to Love is Blind, and that's the reason why she's here. Because earlier on, Aaliyah also told us that there were some people telling her, well, I guess some of the girls or someone in the cast was telling her that Lydia had gone into the experiment telling people that she had a feeling that someone she knew was going to be on the show. Suspicious? I say yes, very suspicious. Like, psycho levels, girl, come on. Like I'm not gonna lie that when I was a teenager, I did go through like my ex's phone, or I would look at the girls that he followed and I would look at their socials. But you're a grown up woman, you're 30 years old. This is like high school behavior. This is like psycho behavior. And at the same time, I was thinking there has to be something here that Uche is not telling us. Because even though I do see Lydia a little cuckoo on the head, I don't see her acting up like that just because. There has to be more reasons as to why she's doing that. So I actually also realized that I've been merging the two episodes because there isn't really a lot of drama in the last two, 6 and 7. So I'm genuinely just merging them. Right after Uche and Aaliyah have their little talk, the producer cut us off. So we don't really get any other answer other than them two having a conversation about what happened. Then we're off to Lydia and Milton meeting Lydia's mom. And this whole team was pretty cool. Like, there was just interacting with each other. And long story short, they have agreed that they're going to have kids in 5 years. That's a maybe because Milton wants to wait, Lydia doesn't. It's a whole age thing. They have to figure it out. And then Lydia's mom just tells her just tells Milton that he's accepted into the family. And then from here, we're going to have Stacy and Izzy going to meet Stacy's parents. And you can tell right here that these people are wealthy. They are wealthy. I'm not sure how much money they have, but definitely more than I do. So they're meeting each other, and you can already tell from here that money is going to be an issue. We don't really get that much when they're all meeting each other, when they're all sitting down, but then later on when Izzy steps outside with Stacy's dad, he realizes right away that this is probably not going to work, because he tells him that like love sometimes is a Mercedes, love sometimes is a very expensive bag, love sometimes is a trip to Europe, and Izzy does not have the money for that. I could see him sweating his ass off. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to spend all this money on this woman. You're probably not. She's probably gonna drop you because you cannot work at the same level that she's at. Like, you guys are not equals in reality. Financially, you guys are not. And emotionally, maybe yes, because both of you are a little immature, but financially, no. And that's a big part for Stacy. That's really all we get from them. And we are off to the little like reunion with all the couples and the other cast members that didn't get a connection. Everyone's having a great time. The couples are there, and as soon as Johnny walks in, Johnny. I cannot stand this girl. I honestly don't like her. But she walks in, and right off the bat, we get Stacy letting everyone know that she does not fuck with this woman. And why doesn't she fuck with her? Because she was talking crap about her the whole time. We all see it. She was going around talking all this shit about Stacy just because she didn't get Izzy, because Izzy rejected her. Like, stop being so childish. Stop being so like high school and elementary drama. Like, that's so upsetting, so stupid. But after that happens, then Izzy, like always, trying to hash out the past, trying to make things better, goes and talks to Johnny because he wants to make sure that everything, is cool with both of them. He's already drunk too, so he just starts going about his feelings and how he feels about Johnny and how she's the two-face. And Johnny's like, I don't care. I don't care. I moved on. And oh, I was so goddamn disappointed when I learned that Johnny and Chris are together. And here we go. Another man pissing me off. Like, Chris, I had high hopes for you. I had high hopes for you last time I made a video. I was very proud of you because you chose to not be the second option. But then you come over here and you let me down and you let everyone down that believed in you. So, lost my respect right here. Sorry. So, they start talking about this. And then guess who walks in? Uche. Uche walks in. And you can tell that lady is like, fuck, what is he doing here? Why is he here? And Uche walks in and he's like, hey, Lydia, can we go have a conversation? And this whole conversation just egged me the wrong way because the entire time, Uche just kept asking questions to Lydia, just trying to get things out of her, putting the little seeds there little by little, trying to get her to say certain things, trying to get her to admit that she was going through other girls' Instagrams, that she sent him a picture saying, I see you at his driveway, all the reasons that, she violated his privacy. But the way he does it is very particular because at no point does he say why she did those things, even though Lydia asked him, but do you want to talk about why I did those things? Do you want to say what happened? And he doesn't. He just keeps quiet. Lydia ends up getting so frustrated that she ends up yelling at him because he won't really let her talk to. He wants to keep, he's that like person that always wants to make sure that he is 2 steps ahead of you all the time, to make sure that whatever he says does not incriminate his ass. So that's what he does. Lydia walks off and then comes back in because she's not going to let it down. We all know Lydia. She likes the drama, so she's going to continue. And right here, we find out that this man was sexting someone when he was dating Lydia. So, that man that dragged Aaliyah for cheating, that dragged her everywhere, that asked all these questions, that judged her because it happened 2 years ago. That same man was sexting someone. And that's why Lydia went through his phone. And that's why Lydia followed those girls. And that's why Lydia was being a psycho at his house in the driveway taking pictures. So, do we think that Uche is a good man? No, we don't. And this is another of the points. Another of the man this season that pissed. How can you get on your freaking high horse, drag someone while you're doing the same thing that you're blaming them or accusing them to do? Very manly of you. Very I cannot stand him. Honestly, watching this was like a boxing match between Lydia and Uche, where Uche was just playing the defense. It was like, and throwing little jabs at Lydia. And Lydia was just taking the punches, taking the punches, taking the punches. And then she hit him in the freaking face. And that's what happens. That's what happens. And I really hope that Aaliyah sees this or finds out and goes, you know what, Uche? You're a deceiving, pitiful man. And I cannot stand you. And I'm not going to have a relationship with you. And neither is she going to have a relationship with Lydia. Because Lydia, we cannot forget about her making a connection with Aaliyah, knowing damn well that she was Uche's ex. So I don't know. This whole thing was very manipulative. The fact that he never brought up the fact that, Lydia was going through his phone because he was sexting someone. It's clearly in a way you can see that these two are meant for each other because they're so fake. They're just so crazy. So out of touch with life. Lydia's deceiving. She has a hot temper. Uche is manipulative. He's very deceitful. Es un mentiroso, un desgraciado.
Una víbora tepiteña, güey.
I was expecting more from the relationships that we saw in here, but we didn't get that. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. I would really appreciate if you guys could let me know what you guys think about it. And not only that, but have you guys ever had a crazy girlfriend like Lydia or crazy boyfriend like Uche? Or have you ever been manipulated by someone like that makes you feel like you're shit when in reality they're shit times 2? Well, let me know what you guys think. And if you guys like this video, make sure you hit like. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you want to see more videos, I do have a video that I made about episode 1 through 4. You can go and watch that. And don't forget to come back next week when I make another video. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.